Oh, yeah. I'm Margaret in Windsor, and I hope that you watch this video today, and I may have to take two. This is Christmas. I don't have anything else to do today. I'm kind of, uh, you know. Anyway, in case that this is ever told, you'll make the connection. So I put it up here. I took the time, and I don't have means to type, and I'm not going to excuse what I'm doing. I'm doing something that I don't get paid for. In fact, it's really everybody else has gotten paid, and they've lied about it. I do want to put this up. This is my father, Edward the Eighth. He was never the the fake Duke of Windsor that married I'm going to have to do this over. I guess I'm tired already, so I don't know how I'll get through trying to put this together that I'm going to. This is Edward the Eighth, my father, and I'm his only child, and he was married always to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, Windsor, and he was taken down by the Illuminati, your Freemason, your global government. And in 1937, Wallace Simpson, an American spy, married an impostor, a double, pretending to be Edward the Eighth. This is by Salisbury here. My father was married to my mom, and she's sister to artist Georgia O'Keeffe. So they took down my father and mother, and then I was born Victoria II, the day I was born in 39. Now they had to get rid of me because my father never meant to leave. He was forced out, character assassination. Never married this woman. He was married to my mom. They were still alive. And October the 20th of 86 when I came to Roanoke. I'm going to skip so I can get this up hopefully on one. I can't put it together for you. Later, if it plays out, you'll see where the patterns exist in the mind control murders. This is George VI, who's illegal. He and Elizabeth work for the Illuminati. They're fake royalty, fake monarchy. This is President Roosevelt, and he appointed Joe Kennedy, U.S. ambassador to England in 36, the year my father was crowned, became king, for the specific reason of taking him out, because he would not follow orders handed down by the Illuminati. He worked for the British people. He loved them, and as of today, look at the price he's paid for being kind, honest, doing the right thing. I've already put this up now, a lot of it. So anyway, this is, she's a Rothschild. She is Elizabeth's mother, and this is Roosevelt's mother, and this is illegal George VI, 1939, when I was born, and they planning my kidnapping in 41, and JFK helped in my kidnapping and bringing me to Moulton, Alabama. So this is Mrs. Roosevelt, who had her ties to Stanton, Virginia, and Woody Woodrow Wilson, and the takedown of Tsar Nicholas and his family. Anastasia was murdered on May the 6th or 4th. It was on the first Sunday, so it's easy to find. I was driving a car furnished by Hustler magazine. She was in Charlottesville and married to a professor there, so I'm not going to go into all that, but she was murdered. That was Anna. This house she was murdered, and they've covered it up. But anyway, I thought it was odd that the one remaining Tsar Nicholas child, Anastasia, ended up back here in Virginia, not too far from me, and me going through there at the exact time they stated she had just died. They didn't say she was murdered. She was. You have to know what and how they did it. Okay, now, Stanton, where Woody Woodrow Wilson was born, he was president. He was a friend of This woman, Eleanor the Roosevelts, in the United Nations, which is what my father would not allow to happen. That was one of the things. He just wouldn't take orders from him. He was King of England. He worked for the British. He didn't sell his soul like this illegal one. And this woman who gave her Christmas speech, my goodness, she must think God is, what does she think? She's a war criminal. She's totally known about my dad marrying my mom. She's known it all. She's known she's illegal. There's even copies, which I know, that have been put up on YouTube and everything, of where she's one of the highest members of the Illuminati, your Freemasons, your United Nations, which she knows took my father down, my mom, kidnapped me, done this stuff to my children. She's participated, and she knows, and that family has. All these that are so wealthy and well-liked that are a bunch of criminals, war criminals, traitors. This is what I was writing about when Larry Flynt was shot, and I'm going to get to that, and then I'm going to try to just read some stuff, and if it's all told, then you'll know where I'm coming from. You can piece some of it together yourself. I was writing about the Illuminati and later found out about, I was writing about mind control, later found out about being kidnapped in my real name, in the Illuminati, the global government. Now, I was sent this book, and I wish I'd kept it, by a church in Travel, where I used to go up and live on the Appalachian Trail, starve and freeze, because they were told not to help me. It's called Implantable Biochips, and this was written about by Mars, Tex, or Jim Mars. I can't remember which one. Now I get them confused. One's dead. Anyway, it's talking. They sent it up, the church did, and said this is what I had been telling about. Well, I'd been telling about chipping and the Illuminati and my kidnapping and the United Nations. I guess it really hit me, the New World Order. Okay, I'm going to put this up, though. Timothy McVeigh said that the U.S. Army put a chip up his buttocks. And he went on to be put to death, just like Scott Peterson will be, if this truth isn't told. And as you can see, anyway, you can see it from this. Project Lucid's the name of the book. And it's talking about the Bible and end times. And okay, I'm going to stop there. And I'm going to my father. This is Wallace Simpson. She married a double. That's just one of them, and became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. They're buried at Frogmore, Windsor, with royalty, as if he's the real King Edward VIII, who did not abdicate. He was forced out, and this is not Edward VIII. This is a double claiming to be, and she's an American spy. And yes, Elizabeth and all of them have known about it. So I want to put this in here. Okay, let me do this. April of 1984, Larry Flynt of Hustler Magazine, the publisher, endorsed me. And I had been out there in October twice when I ran in a campaign to replace a congressman I'd written about, Larry McDonald, U.S. Congressman, doctor from Piedmont Hospital. Now then, he states here, I knew that it was a mind control murder when it happened. I lived in Marietta, Georgia, suburb of Atlanta. He was shot in nearby Gwinnett County in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And that's all I'm going to say about that. He says, I know who was responsible for his shooting and all that, Larry McDonald. Now, I didn't know until later, he furnished me a car for a year, and I didn't know until later that he was in prison in Butner, North Carolina. Can you believe it? And, I mean, he was tortured more than once for contempt of court. Can you believe it? My God, if you ever see what the court has been in all this contempt, they should put a medal on the man, not try to kill him. Okay, I'm going to take this undone, excuse me, and then I'm going to put this away for the day or whatever. Now, I want to put this in first and then go from here. Where I've lived has been, I have an autoimmune disorder and I'm allergic to toxic fumes. There's no cure for it. If I smell the fumes and they're toxic, then it affects my immune system and causes mass inflammation. Your immune system is triggered to attack itself, and it gets so weak you can't fight off other illnesses. So over time, it can really cause havoc with your kidneys, your liver, your lungs, your heart, which it has affected my heart already, and maybe my kidneys. Anyway, I want to put this up because these people have been gotten to. It's every place I've lived. HUD, which is illegal to do that. Any place. Civil rights, I don't have any. I just wanted to put this one up because Affordable Corporate Suites gets involved in all this. I was brought down from by one of the state troopers I've mentioned on here. And he and his wife brought me down from the National State Park where I ran and camped for a little bit. You pay to camp there. And they brought me down because I woke up in the middle of the night and somebody had poured fuel on my tent. And they brought me down, and they took me to Affordable. I had stayed there before. They didn't take me to this one. They took me to the one on Starkey Road, which you get into Starkey, I believe, is the name for one of the Beatles. That I know it is, and he married a girl from the Duke of Hazzard. Oh my God, I'm in a hurry trying to get it all up, and you can follow me on that. Anyway, they would come in and run me. I mean, they made my life a living hell. I couldn't get anything else. It wouldn't matter. The people doing this can get to anybody. Well, they didn't have to do it. They should be prosecuted, and your managers and your housekeeping and your people that the health department, you're in charge of health codes, your social services. You wouldn't believe it. I mean, well, yeah, you would. I wanted to read this because later the rides I get in the taxi, I'm helped some with it. I still have to pay some, and I'm limited on rides, so I'm not going to say anything else about that. Like in my face, this woman was a cab driver a couple of times. I really didn't remember her from back at this point until she said something, and she still works for this, or did not long ago, Affordable. It's over at North Side in Salem there. Not too far from me now. Now, she shows up like almost my face driving the cab, and I put this up before, and I've told the truth about it all. You can't make up things that are so horrible. They were killing me with toxic. They weren't in any way supposed to put this mess down. They got on the floor. You think they're being clean? Well, it was clean, but I don't think they did this to everybody else, and especially me, they shouldn't have done it to. I'm talking about really toxic. And she almost ran at this place. The girl had come back from Atlanta. She was from here. Remember, I lived in Atlanta. That's where so much of this took place. And she was trying to run me over the vacuum cleaner and knock out my video that I was making videos with. Anyway, while she put all the chemicals, this is nothing compared to the rest of it. But anyway, this was put on my door, and I'm going to connect this in a minute. By the way, a Jewish man owns all these, and he has become quite wealthy. He owns a whole bunch since I moved to Roanoke in 1986, excuse me. being kept homeless or living like this and living on the Appalachian Trail, freezing and starving. Anyway, this is May the 14th of 2014. Okay. She has told me, and let me preface this because the name becomes a part of this. You know, this is quite odd. I'm trying to remember back. It was 2012 when I moved back here for the first time, I believe. Yeah. And then I left and I came back, and she was manager, Debbie McKay, and this is May the 14th of 2014. So I began videoing August the 3rd of 2013. That's all I'm going to say about that. But, okay, now that it's 2014, and she's manager, Debbie McKay is, and I've lived there, and I always paid my rent on time, early if I could, everywhere. So anyway, you have to have money to pay things and doctors and all that. I haven't had money to even eat and buy clothes, any clothes or anything. I was lucky just to live up until recently. Some people sent some things to me, clothes and some food. And I won't mention that anymore. I already have, and I thank them very much, very much. Anyway, I wanted to get into this. She told me she had when I went up there, one of the last times, I guess, let me try this. My hands are numb. Anyway, I was up there, and she said, no, she put this on my door. Well, no, let me go back to this. It's real important. She went in the bathroom, and she mentioned another murder here that involved a state congressman's son and him. And I'm not going to go any further with that. I mean, I get afraid of telling the truth, that the very people I'm telling the truth to that could help them want to hurt me. Okay, she said to me at one point, just prior to this, she said, and she turned around her big computer there on her desk, and she showed me a picture of her daughter. So this is May the 14th, 2014, and supposedly she was in her graduation or prom gown, and it was a big, nice picture of her daughter. She's going to graduate and all that. And she said to me, Debbie McKay said to me, she said, I'm not going to let my daughter end up like Alexis Murphy. Well, Alexis Murphy, I think, wasn't she killed in August of 2013, I believe, when I started doing the videos? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that's right. Or had she been murdered prior? Anyway, so she said that she come by with this. And she said that she put it on my door and said, here's what she said. And I put this up several times later. And do you know that woman had the gall to put up videos that are lies? I wish to God that there is God in all this. And I'm going to finish this off, and you're going to wonder, or maybe you do or don't, about, I don't know, who put this all together. I know who I hope did, I think. Anyway, I'm the one telling about mind control murders done in patterns. So now and then, it backfires on me. She got her job, and she still got it. And she put lies up on a video to counteract what I had said here. Here's her letter. Dear Miss Childers, as per our conversation,